channel. My name is Eberechi Igwe Ubonna. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a symmetrical neck waistline for an Asoebi inspired outfit that we got inspiration from Brilliant Collections TZ on Instagram. So first of all, we had to draw our basic blouse pattern. So after drawing our basic blouse pattern, we dragged down the dart lines. So anytime you're working with anything at all that requires crossing over the dart lines, you must close up your dart lines. So went ahead to close up our dart lines. So we had to close up the dart lines. After closing the dart lines, the rule is always draw exactly what you see. So basically, we made an attempt at drawing what we saw from Brilliant Collections. So from the point A, we'll be coming down by about 5 inches. These are just basic assumptions because we're not seeing the dress live to actually take these measurements, but this is just a guide. So the guide should be able to help you to get the design as closely as possible. So looking at the waistline and then the points where it dipped at the center front piece, I was thinking it looked more like 5 inches distance. So from the point A, we'll come down by 5 inches and mark. So we'll just mark it. We can just use a ruler to extend that marking up to the dart area. We're trying to get a kind of connection because the next connection is going to align with the dart line. That's this closed up dart line now. So we're going to extend that marking at the center front to the dart point. So when we mark to the dart point, I'm seeing that the distance looks more like 2.5 inches. So this is what we're going to do. So just follow it, just watch the video and you totally understand. It's very easy to follow. You can also watch my other video on dome waistline. I'm going to put the link in the description box below. So from the base now, that's this extension, you go up by 2.5 inches and mark. So when you mark, you connect with your metal rule. Now there's really no hard and fast rule with this. You just go ahead and draw what you see. But where we do have a hard and fast rule is drawing the side, especially because it has to do with actual measurements, actual fittings. So this is actually a high-waisted blouse that we drew with shoulder darted or armhole darted technique. So since it stopped at the high waistline, the skirt will be continuing at the high waistline. So because the skirt will be continuing at the high waistline, we just go ahead and connect the shape. Like we just transfer the shape of the side of the skirt so that we can be able to transfer the markings on the blouse. Okay, the blouse extension. So remember, initially the blouse was not supposed to exceed the waistline, but right now it's exceeding the waistline. So now that it's exceeding the waistline, we are putting up these designs on it, and you just have to effect it using the skirt also. So I just basically marked where I thought the shape would end. So I just, after drawing the skirt, I now had to connect from this point along the dart line to the tip. That's where I actually believe that shape should end. So having done that, we are also going to make alterations on the skirt itself. When you're making this kind of rare waistlines, you don't just make the designs on the top and then leave the skirt bare. No, you don't do that. You're going to have to also make alterations on the skirt. So initially I wanted to just do a basic dart transfer. I wanted to just place a carbon paper underneath the pattern and then transfer it, or just use a tracing wheel to do the transfer, but the headache was too much. So because I didn't want that kind of stress and then most likely some kind of inaccuracy, I just had to measure back, since these are straight lines, it's not like a curve or something. So I just had to cut off the blouse. After cutting off that of the blouse, I had to measure back from A downwards, from the high waist to the dart line downwards, then from the side. I just had to take the measurement. So just watch so that you see how we eventually handled it on the skirt pattern too, and also how it was tested to be sure that it's very accurate. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscription button and on the notification bell so that you can always get new notification when I get a new video on the channel. So if you want to enroll for any of my online courses, the link to enroll or access our online course will be dropped in the description box. It's actually a seller link, so you can just go ahead and enroll for any of the courses that might interest you. So first, I had to start from the center of the skirt. I had to mark the 5 inches. I had to mark the 2.5 inches from the downside, then connect. So just basically having the same shape that you have up, down. So I didn't want to cut off this pattern because this was my student's pattern, and I wanted her to make alterations by herself without me entirely damaging the pattern. So I had to fold it. I had to fold the skirt area, then test it on the blouse to be sure that it eventually rhymed. So we're always very particular about fittings, perfection, and excellence. So this is basically what it looks like. So you're just going to label all around 0.5 inches sewing allowance above, that's for the main fab for the top, then 0.5 inch sewing allowance for the skirt. Then of course you cut off the whole thing, and then you cut and you start sewing. I hope this video has been helpful. Do drop a comment if you have any kind of tutorial you want us to make. You can just drop your questions in the comment section, or drop your choice tutorial in the comment section. So keep watching the video. See you in the next training video.